All right, everybody, we are live this Saturday afternoon. I have Miss Nana Ashanti with me. Thank
Yeah.
you for coming on, Nana. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What we are talking about today is it's a subject that I've been wanting to talk about since I went to Ghana
Oh boy.
in November, and it really bothered me.
Right.
I don't know if I'm being petty or not, but it really bothered me because I never got a straight answer.
Okay.
Okay, when I asked about it. So I remember coming to Ghana to Accra,
Mm-hmm.
and there were pictures of white Jesus everywhere. And I just when I come to Africa, I come to celebrate the culture,
Right.
the indigenous African culture. But I saw pictures of white Jesus everywhere, and it really bothered me. But not
Right.
only did I see the pictures of white Jesus, I would see these billboards everywhere, everywhere from Accra. I caught the VIP bus from Accra to
Oh yeah.
Kumasi, and from Accra to Cape Coast. There were these billboards of pastors promoting
Mm-hmm.
their revivals and their mega fest.
Fasting. Yeah, you're right.
Now, but this is my issue. Even the hardcore, this is the issue I have with that. There were revivals, fast, mega fest going on almost every day.
Yep.
If you ask a hardcore black Christian here in America if that's normal,
It isn't normal.
it's not normal at all.
It's not normal.
So I just need to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Because I went to Kumasi. I went to the they had it was like the funeral rites of the
The
Ashanti
queen.
Queen
Yeah.
Mother who passed away. It was like the 1 year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So I celebrated that. I experienced the culture. They had the Agyin-Asare festival. I know I butchered that word, but please forgive me. Agyin-Asare,
It's
Agyin-Asare.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It had a great time. So I just need clarity. And let me step back for a second. So when I have an argument,
Mm-hmm.
okay, or debate with my African Christian friends, you know, why they love white Jesus, or why they love Jesus, or why they're Christians, and I bring up it's because of colonialism. They
Right.
try to deny it and say that is not true.
But that is the truth though.
No, but let me tell you what they would say. They say that is not the truth, Dinus. Jesus has African origins, and I would say okay.
Well,
I would say okay, but the issue, Donna, and I'm gonna give you the floor. If Jesus if he has African origins, why are all the pictures that I've seen in Africa he's white?
of him being white, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
call it like the Brad Pitt Jesus.
okay,
That's the imagery. But I think the difference, what you were asking if you were being petty or not, is that you're realizing that the way African Americans look at things is very different from the way Africans look at things. African Americans look at things through like the lenses of like race, and of like the institutions and stuff. But Africans look at things through like a very like different lens. Like people would not realize that the imagery of Jesus Christ on the church wall is white until you mention it. People do not take they do not, like, here's the thing I was saying the other day to one of my friends, like I do not recognize people for like the color that they are. Like I do not recognize, I don't look at
come
people
on,
through that
you're
lens.
not pulling the I don't see race card.
No, 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 I do see it now that I'm in America, but as an African, because everyone around me is the same kind of person, I
Mhm.
do not recognize, I don't look at it through like that lens. So for people, when you're saying that, the reason why you don't understand is that when you're saying that, why is there a photo of white Jesus if you're claiming for him to be Middle Eastern or had African origin? Why is he not having like olive skin, or why doesn't he have black skin? People would think that you are crazy because you're not looking at it from your perspective. It's a thing of perspective, and
And
you're not looking at it from your perspective.
yeah, but this is my issue with the whole we don't understand race in Africa excuse. You guys went through colonialism,
Exactly.
not too long ago.
And people don't think that it affects them today. And that's why people don't recognize it. You know, I'm sorry. Something's going on here, as you can imagine. Why you have a serious conversation? Please go away.
That's your mom. Tell your mom. Tell your mom to come on. Tell her come on. Mom,
Oh my God.
Mother, come here. I gotta ask you a question. Mother, come here. I gotta ask you a question.
My mom doesn't have an answer to any question.
Okay,
I'm telling you.
Mama, I need to ask you a serious question.
Dinus one day with your Ghana photos about Jesus Christ pictures or Tibroni.
Why?
Revival and the fasting so many times. So one day why?
Why?
We are mostly into Christian activities.
But do you understand that Christianity is a result of colonization? White people come into Ghana to colonize. If they didn't come, will we still be Christians?
I don't think so.
You don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
I see, they recognize it. People recognize it as a result of colonialism, but they just don't care. You know?
Right, but I gotta address this. We're Africans. We don't see race logic. Now, this is the problem I have with that. And somebody said it in the chat room. If I'm black,
right,
I go to China, where the majority of people are Chinese, they're gonna know I'm black, and they're gonna treat me accordingly. And that's everywhere else on the planet.
Right.
For some reason, Africans
don't recognize that.
They want to play that we don't recognize.
No, it's not we don't play. It's for real, Dinus. Haven't you noticed? We don't recognize that. You know, because it's a thing of perspective. Like right now in America, things are the way they are because of race, you know? But when you go to Africa, things are not like that. We have our own thing. We have tribalism, which is a different thing. We have classism, which is a different thing. We have religion, which is a whole different thing. So the race thing is like a secondary matter that people don't even recognize. You know, it's not like they don't see, they see it, they just don't apply it, if that's the correct way of saying it.
Okay.
Are you done now?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, okay.
That's what she does. That's why I don't have any friends.
Why don't you have any friends?
Because of my mom.
She's more than welcome to join. She's more than welcome to join. I'm sure my mom was here, she'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
She'll be doing the same thing. Okay, so and I've heard the same thing from all of my Ghanaian friends.
Right.
Like it's tribalism, you know, government.
Exactly. You know, we have issues preceding that, you know. It's not at the core of who we are. It's not at the core. Like right now, right? Let's just say I'm walking down the street here in New York City and a policeman like arrests me. The first thing I'm going to think about is because I'm black, right? But when you go to like somewhere like Ghana and you're walking down the street and a policeman like stops you, the first thing I think about is bribery. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a thing of perspective. If we were in a society where we were mixed or there were so many different people of different races, it'll probably be a problem for us. But we don't have that. We have a problem with the government. We have a problem with people that are rich that are not paying their fair, you know, share of things. So there are things that precede them. And like my mom was saying, like, I'm pretty sure people know that Christianity is as a result of colonization, but they just don't care, you know, because it doesn't affect their day-to-day lives. They just don't care. You know.
But again, you have some Africans, and it's weird because it's primarily East Africans that think, well, we don't think it's a result of colonialism because Jesus has African origins.
Has Ethiopian roots.
Right, but then all the pictures there of Jesus is white, you know.
Exactly. I mean, Dinus, if we're looking at this on a very global platform, we recognize that like Christianity has been whitewashed. You know, Jesus Christ is not a white man. When he came on earth, he was a Palestinian man. If you look at the Bible and the locations, he was a Palestinian man. You know, he was a Jewish Palestinian guy. And so he shouldn't even have that skin in the first place. You know, if we want to represent what he was when he was human, if you believe in Christianity, it wouldn't happen in the first place. But Christianity has been whitewashed globally, the imagery of it and how it was even put, you know, it's now so like he was white, and then it just transcends, it transcends even Christianity right now. Everything is like so whitewashed now. So I guess it is. People just don't recognize that it's a problem, and that they should do make it like a more authentic, if you want me to use that word. They just go with the flow,
Okay. Yeah, in the chat room, I know this is not what you guys want to hear, but this is the
This is the truth, guys.
I know
Yeah.
this has been the consistent response from several of my Ghanaian friends. They gave the same exact answer. So I don't think it's a conspiracy theory.
No.
Like, this has been the consistent answer.
I mean, Dinus, you and I know that it's wrong, right? You and I know that.
I was really bothered. Like,
yeah. You and I know that it's not right. I mean, the African brand of Christianity is a mix between I dare to say it's a mix between like voodooism, superstition. I think so. I mean, I've watched all your videos, but I think so. Do you know why?
I think
why I say that? When you go into the churches, right? The way the churches are not your average Baptist church in the United States.
Okay.
The way they are, even down to the rituals and to like the practices, it's a mix. That's why when you go and you see like 40-day fasting, you're like, what? Why are we doing this? Why is this necessary? Africans have their own brand of Christianity that includes superstition. It includes everything. It's not the average Christianity. So when people see it for the first time, it is shocking that people spend all their time in church and spend all their resources in church and all of that and have a secret, whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is what I'll put it.
Okay. So what about the pastor situation?
Yeah.
Okay. How can we address that? Like, I was because I mean, we have the Black community here in America has had an issue of pastors exploiting poor Black communities for years.
Yeah.
But I think the pastors in America were way more discreet.
They're lightweight compared to African pastors.
Yeah, like what I saw in Ghana disturbed me because they were just out in the open. Like, like, do Ghanaians know like what's going on? The game.
Of course, people know that you're being exploited. I mean, pastors now are held in way higher regard than the president of the country. People will listen to their pastors before they listen to like their own family and stuff. I mean, they've wrecked a lot of things. It's a business, It is a business. It's just for economic profit, and people know that. People have done so many different things in order to make their churches grow and all of that. It's a business. But then, Dinus, we need to recognize where the problem is coming from. It's a lot of poverty and a lot of desperation from people who think that somehow the way to having like some sort of financial freedom or economic freedom is to pay something to a pastor in order for him to do some magic or whatever it is.
Right.
To elevate them in life. When people don't have a lot of hope, they run to something that comforts them. And then when they run to that, whoever it is that's trying to outsmart them has them where he needs them. It's just like I think now I feel like we can address like the effect of it, but we need to talk about the root cause of why all these churches are springing up. I mean, you can't drive one highway in Ghana without seeing like 20 billboards.
It's crazy.
Yes, without seeing 20 billboards of some themed church prayers. I mean, I believe in prayers. I believe like in spirituality and all of that stuff. But to what extent are you like? What are you looking for that makes you want to be in church like 40 days fasting? Like, what are you looking for? It's desperation. People are hungry. People are tired. People need something to work other than themselves. They don't realize that the problem and the solution is them.
Right.
They think if it's from an outside source. So then people are always going to make money off of the poor people. No,
I agree. Like I said, it doesn't bother me. Okay, so but this is my problem, Ashanti.
Right.
The culture is so beautiful.
Right.
Indigenous African. not Sunday, just in general, so beautiful. Why do they renounce that? Not saying they all do, but a lot do, especially in my experience with a lot of, it depends which country they come from. When I come in contact with here in America.
Keep talking. 1 minute.
Yeah. Why do they renounce their culture for Western religion? That's what I don't understand.
I mean, isn't it ignorance, Dinus? It is ignorance, because I feel like you can make your life in a way where who you are at your core and from where you are can coexist with whatever it is that you believe in from the outside.
Right.
But one thing that I think it's an effect of also colonialism and the slave trade and all of that was it demonized just Africans as a whole. If you look at, I don't know if you're like really into like reading about the, how do they call it? The transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah.
Some of the letters that the Europeans wrote back to their kings and stuff, they always talked about ways where they could it was a whole marketing thing, these savages, they don't wear clothes, they don't do this, they're praying to these gods, and if we can take it away from them, then we can establish ourselves. If we are able to demonize what it is they believe in, then we'll own them forever. And they were right. They were right. That's what they've done. They've demonized it. But I feel like a change is gonna come. I don't know.
Do you really?
I really honestly believe a change is going to come, where people are going to start asking questions. I mean, I just asked my mom right now, it's like, if Europeans never made it to Cape Coast, if they never came to Ghana, would we be Christians? And the answer is no, we would not have been.
Well, at least she admits it, because you don't understand how many, especially here in America, Black America,
right?
You realize you're only a Christian because of slavery, right?
Yeah, I mean, you need to ask yourself.
They want to give you every excuse, and
no, that's not true. I mean, I am a Christian. I have asked myself so many times. I'm like, is this what I've heard? Do I believe it? Is it what happened? Reading this, is it like, does it sit well with me? Do I believe in this? Do I believe? Like, you need to ask yourself questions and arrive at a conclusion that, yeah, to be honest, if I was not introduced to this as a child, I probably would not have been. Right. So I think that's what it is. It's going to take some undoing and some unlearning, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that people will like ask questions and come around.
Okay, now people in the church who who have renounced voodoo or indigenous African spirituality,
right?
Do they know and realize that the African pastors still practice it?
I think they do know that. That's what I'm saying. When you go into the churches and you are anybody who has any knowledge about like voodooism and just African traditional practices, you will notice that there is there's an influence in there. And there are some who are heavily like into that. And a lot of the grandmothers and the great grandmothers who at the time were not, they had not been westernized, if you want me to say it that way, they still practice it and still go to church every Sunday. They still believe in that and go to church every Sunday. I feel like people, here's the thing, right, Dan? It's like, I'm going to take a bit off track, but...
No, go ahead, please.
Have you watched like some African movies and stuff?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right. Whenever the question of voodoo comes into like visuals or film or poetry or books or novels, it's always used for bad.
Right.
So if as a child, as a person, you keep consuming this information over and over and over again, you're going to demonize it, because the only part that is the part that's used for evil. You don't know the part that's about nature. You don't know the part that's about self. You don't know anything. All you know is evil. So of course people would want to stay away from evil. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. For the older people that know about it and they know it in its entirety, they practice that and still do whatever it is that they want to do with going to church. But my generation, for example, or Generation X or the boomers or whatever, we still like have to like learn and unlearn these things. So it would take some time, but it would take some work also, if we're being honest.
Now, I think the main issue is too, because like I went to the Voodoo Festival, and I have
Right.
very how can I say, conservative Christians
Right.
part of my family, and they were concerned, and sending the Bible verses and all that, and I just I pretty much just laugh. Do you think a lot, I guess our generation, they're afraid to be open with their indigenous African spirituality because of the backlash they might receive?
No, I don't think I think I have like some friends in Ghana who are like now into African spirituality. I feel like now they're a lot more like easy, and because they have like the information to back it up, they can say that, hey, it's not the bad part that you know about that we practice, but this and this and this is what we practice. It's exactly like what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
Like you have the information now. So if someone should say something stupid like, well, did you have to sacrifice a human or something?
Right, which has been asked.
You see, then you can say, well, like we don't do that. It's like actually frowned upon for you to do that. You know what I mean? So I feel like our generation, they will have that information to, counter and, just rebut that and make people know that that's not exactly what it's about. There's nothing to be scared of. There's nothing this is who you are, this is who we are. There's nothing to be scared of.
Hmm.
Hi,
Cynthia, how are you? A friend in the chat room said hello.
Okay.
Somebody wants to know is how are agnostic people and atheists treated in Africa? I don't think there's really no issue. Like they really.
Oh, there are.
I know there are, but I don't sense that they're like pulled out and persecuted and judged. I mean,
They are actually.
Oh, they are. Oh wow, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, one of my very best friends, she is an atheist, and she's not just an atheist, like she's an atheist. She's an atheist, like, and she's in the community, and her parents, she's gonna die. Her parents are actually pastors.
Uh-huh.
So it's like every time I see her on her Facebook all the time, always like having to tell people like, hey, I don't believe in this stuff. And people would send the verses, and even I will like be like, girl, so you don't even want to she doesn't have any spiritual practice because she doesn't believe in that at all. It's a very foreign thing in like because even in African traditional religion, we believe in the existence of a greater person, like they believe in a God, right?
Uh-huh.
So as an atheist or agnostic person, it's like a very foreign thing, and I don't think people are very receptive to it. People aren't, but then again, they exist, and I think there are going to be a lot more people in the coming years who are going to be Africans too, who are going to be atheists and agnostic, and they're going to find an uphill battle. It's not going to be easy for them at all.
What now say if she practiced indigenous African spirituality, how would her parents accept it? Like, what would they say? What do you think?
As against her being an atheist.
Right. So I'm guessing your friend's Ghanaian.
Yeah, she is Ghanaian. Yeah, I feel like they will probably accept her more if she practiced atheist, like be an atheist, than actually be like believe in African spirituality. Really, I think so. I think because for me, in my like being a millennial is just like I'm respective of I respect everybody's like beliefs or whatever. But for our parents and a generation before that who have been completely westernized, and they didn't have the information to back it up, they will not be receptive of your child being, into African like spirituality. I think it would be much more of a problem than being an atheist.
Really?
Yeah, I believe that. Absolutely believe that.
Wow. So what? Yeah. So what? My main concern really is the pimping pastor epidemic that I saw in Ghana.
Yeah.
Are they ever confronted? I mean, let me ask you this: what is the government doing about it?
The government has a council called the Christian Council, and their job was to regulate like the churches that were springing up, the charismatic churches, the ones that do not have a denomination, so no one monitors them. So that was their job. Um, I laugh because they are fairly useless. If you see the way the posters deface across streets, and they have their billboards springing up everywhere every week, they haven't done anything. The only thing they do is come out to criticize homosexuality or whatever they think is immoral. They come up and they like criticize it, but the government has a body. I mean, they do recognize that it is a problem. So there is a body that has to regulate like churches like that who are like, duping people and all of that. But they don't do anything. As with anything that does not work in Ghana or in parts. I mean, Ghana is lightweight compared to some of these other pastors that I have seen. Ghanaian pastors are lightweight, and I don't think that people don't want to confront it because it's like spiritual stuff. Everybody's kind of like maybe scared a bit, don't want to talk about it. It's like hush hush thing. If you want to go. If you don't want to do it, don't do it kind of thing. So there isn't much the government can do because people will go seek them out. People will go find them, give all their life savings to just to get some miracle, whatever it is they're looking for. So that I'm not even going to fault the government right now. They've tried, but they can't do much.
Okay. I want to change the subject a little bit. Hold on. Let's say what percentage? Oh, here we go. Let me ask you if you can answer this question. What percentage of weekly earnings do churches in Ghana take from attendees? Like, do you know how much money they're making?
I mean, the regular tithe, 10%, and I know some pastors charge consultation fees or something like that in order to like see them. And there's always that like room for seed sowing and just the regular stuff. But I mean, it's a lot of money for people that earn like less than $5 a day. It's a lot of money. It's just the regular stuff, but then there are some things, and then there are also merchandise that they sell. I don't know if you came across that, but they sell like
I didn't see
water from Jordan or some stupid thing that some pens and some posters and some calendars and T-shirts and I don't know, just some books and all of that is like paid for.
Well, I can see the books. Like, I can see books.
Pens, water, soap, oil, or anything they could sell. So they're making a lot of money over there. They're not joking.
I know these pastors have to be rich, loaded.
They are rich. They're absolutely rich, Dinus. I mean, they are very, very rich, as they should be, because people. I mean, somehow I want to blame them for defrauding people and using the name of like Christ to be rich off, but I also don't want to blame them because they are not responsible for you. If you are an actual Christian, you will know better than to go for someone to pray for you. If you're an actual Christian who reads your Bible, you wouldn't do that, but people don't. So I can't even blame them.
Yeah, because when I think consultation fees, I'm thinking like counseling, which
it's not for counseling. It's just for them to tell you, oh, I see this and this and this about you. Something for prophetic, like yeah.
Yeah, because they're all okay. Yeah, because they were all calling. That's another thing too. In these billboards, they were all calling themselves prophets.
Exactly. That's the thing. People love to hear future things. Like they're like seers and psychics and whatever. It's a whole package, They see. I mean, I don't want to say they don't see things, but I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. That, like I said, that really bothered me when I saw that. It was everywhere. Like I saw more pastors on billboards did just like the jollof sauce, the tomato.
Right. I saw you posted a photo of that.
Yeah. But I saw more, and I wish I would have took some pictures of it. But I think I did actually, but I lost all my pictures I took on my phone, unfortunately.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So yeah, but that really bothered me. Let's change the subject a little bit.
All right.
What's your honest thought in regard you being African living in America?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Black politicians here in America?
I think they're fairly useless, to be very honest. I don't know why people keep voting for them.
Right.
I don't know why people keep voting for them. They're very useless to the African American community. They haven't done much. They're not much is expected of them because you just have to show up black and people will vote for you, which is a problem. I don't know why people like African American don't demand more from their politicians, you know? It's like show up, be woman or be man and be black and we'll vote for you.
Right.
You know, it also because they don't hold a lot of power, so there might not be much they can do. But it's like people need to demand them to actually do something. You know, they don't do anything. They just show up. They don't even like vote the way they're supposed to vote. And it's like it's very frustrating. I was like, why do people keep voting for Democrats? Like they haven't done anything.
So let me ask, do you think as a collective, because this is what I noticed, Africans know that their politicians aren't shit for the most part.
Yeah, they know.
Black Americans try to play like, you know, if they're Democrat, even though they don't do shit, they're fine.
No, they're not.
Do you think Africans are more conscious when it comes to politics than Black Americans?
Yeah, we are, because that's all we have. You know, we don't have any alternatives. You know, everybody that comes up as a politician is like our family members, and they're like people that we know and people that we see. So when we see that you're like not doing much, like you gotta go because you're not doing anything. Let someone else come and do it. I feel like African Americans think because they don't hold a lot of power in this country, it's like, oh, I don't care if I don't vote. I'm not getting anything anyway. There's no expectation like I demand that you fix this school and you make sure the kids have supplies and stuff. You know, that I don't see that demand. I always see the pushy, oh, vote for her because she's black. Oh, okay. What is her message? You know, I'm even like saying to the Atlanta mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Okay, so did you follow that?
I followed it like every day.
Let me tell you what happened. So you had Mary Norwood, the white lady, right? And you had Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, since there was a chance that Mary was going to win, like
yeah,
a strong chance. So it was funny because Black people had all these demands for Mary Norwood, like you need to fix that, you need to protect the interests of the Black people.
Right.
But when it came to Barack Obama, when you asked Black people, okay, Barack Obama is not doing anything for Black people, their response was, well, he's not the Black people's president. But when it came to Mary Norwood, she's you know, she needs to protect the interests of Black people. When it comes to Barack Obama, he doesn't have to do anything. So that's number one.
There is a problem right there, because I was like following the campaign because it was exciting. Like that Kareem, I like Atlanta very much. I don't even know why. It was like he was going out and it was like, oh, okay, so Keisha's gonna take about what is her message? Like what is the message? There's no message. It was like vote for her because she's Black.
A Black woman though.
So what is she bringing? Like, what are your demands? What are your expectations? Why are you voting for her? And no one can tell you, because it's like, you know what? She looks like us, so she has our best interests at heart. But have you considered the fact that you are like the smallest part of the population? So she could easily like overrule you. You know, she can easily like oversee things that will profit other people and not profit you. Not even like in her power, but you need to let her know that, hey, everybody should let your politicians know that, hey, listen, this is what we expect from you. And if you don't do what we're telling you, you're not coming back. Not because like we share the same skin tone or whatever, but people don't seem to think that they matter, you know? People don't believe that. If they did, it would be different. But people don't.
Real quick, I want to say, there's another thing too that I'm gonna, shout some people out in the chat room. So the Black people didn't want to vote for Mary Norwood because they felt that if she was in the bed with the police, and she was focusing on police and increasing the police presence in the communities, Black communities, and that she wasn't.
Right.
So the first thing Keisha Lance Bottoms does when she gets elected is she wants to increase the size of the police force. it's just like they just, you know.
Because did anybody ask her what she feels about like increasing police?
Well,
Nobody ever asked her that.
no. Actually, I think they did, and she pulled the. Well, I have black kids, and I had to teach them about, you know, how to talk.
How to respond?
Yeah, how to
Yeah,
respond. She pulled that
sure.
one. Yeah, but then she hired, you know.
There you go. I mean, because every male would do it. What you want to ask is it in my best interest? Are you thinking of me when you're doing that? You know, there has to be an expectation. There has to be an expectation. I get that people vote for their safest bet. You know, they vote for their safest bet. But does the person have your interest at heart? Or because you think they look at you, you just assume that they would.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
You know, as far as just your thoughts. I think a lot of, I don't know, I just see a lot of Africans who in America, you know, who really think that black politicians are doing a good job. And I'm like, look, they haven't done anything for us
They
post.
haven't done
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
They might not know what they're talking about, but it doesn't really. I mean, I really, really like politics and stuff. And when I look at it, I'm like, I always like think about. I'm like, why aren't black people in America demanding stuff? Like, I want to see like demand stuff off people. Don't just like vote for them because they show up. You know, ask them. Like I'm telling you, if you've ever been to a campaign in any part of Africa, you should see how people question these
Really?
politics. They do, even though we know that nowadays they know that politicians know if you don't do what you say you're doing, you're not coming back. We're like, you're not coming back. You know, you need to do what you said you were going to do, and you need to do it fast. You know, there has to be an expectation and know that you matter, and your voice is like is needed. But people don't believe that, so there's always going to be a problem.
We actually did a stream about Ghana this morning.
Right.
How do you feel about the new president?
Well, the new president of Ghana, I had my reservations about him. Not because well, I'm going to tell you exactly why. People may agree with me or people may not agree, but his father was a president.
Oh, really?
Oh
Well,
yeah, his
that's
father.
right. Now, was he the president that what's the guy's name? Kotoko, the name after at the airport. Did he play a role in his coup, or
Oh no, not at all.
what's the airport's name in Ghana? Is it
Kotoka.
Kotaka? That's right.
Oh, you're talking about his father.
Yeah, well, didn't his father
Yes,
play a
you're
role
right.
in taking him out?
Yeah, he was part of it. I mean, he was part of the people who started the country, for Christ's sake. So of course he was in
Right.
there. You know, so it was him. And I just had a problem with him being like a rich kid. I just felt like he was going to be, again, make the problem of classism a lot bigger. And he may not be like, know that there are people who are destitute who actually need him to work. But so far, I think he has proven me wrong. You know, so far he has proven me wrong, and that he's actually, I mean, he's a year in and he has done some stuff. So, and now he's like Africa's president. You know, everybody's in love with him and standing up to the West and all of that. So
Okay, when you say standing up to the West, how is he actually standing up to the West?
well, actually, he went on this like tour where the presidents do every year, and they usually go around asking for aid and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But from what we saw, he did not do that. He instead went and told like he went to London, and usually they'll go meet with the prime minister and ask for money and all of that. But he actually had a conference, and he was telling all the Ghanaians there to come back home and come back home and build Ghana. And he didn't ask for any aid, and he gave like speeches against actually like getting aid.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it like when the French president came also. He had like, he seems like to be a very liberal president, very like fiscally responsible president. So that's what we're expecting, that he keeps up the momentum. But it was really shocking for me when he went to London, and he didn't actually like ask for any money. And people were like, I kind of respected him for doing that, but I don't know what closed door meetings they're gonna have, so I'll be cautiously vigilant.
And I want to make an announcement, you guys. The president of Ghana asked Ghanaians to come back home and build Ghana. and Nana Ashanti answered the call. So she's going back home to build Ghana later on this year. She's moving back. So let's give a round of applause for Nana for answering the call. And
oh my! I mean, to be very honest, Diners, nobody is going to do it for us. You know, people had to move from other places and come here to this country, and people stayed here to build up the country. So if you give your best years of your life to somewhere else, then who's gonna build yours?
Right. So Nana Nana, I guess you're Ghanaian.
Right.
His name is Nana. Do you he says that what's his comment? Nana Addo only made a speech. There's no action yet. How do you feel about that comment?
Oh, do I think Nana Addo made a speech, but there's no action? I mean, the action was him not asking for the aid. You know, that was the action. If he said, hey, African countries, stop begging for aid, and he actually went and like, hey, can you give me $60 million? Like, that would be a contradictory to what he was saying, but he actually didn't. So I think he is actually putting his money where his mouth is. He's backing it up. But it's just his first year in. That's what I said. Like, I'm being very cautious to see if, so far, I have been following and I haven't seen them actually get aid from anywhere this year. So hopefully he keeps it up. But if he doesn't, then we're gonna know that he's just like anybody else. You know?
Somebody said one village, one dam. What's that midname?
That was his promise.
Oh, okay.
It's like one village, one factory. He's gonna build a factory. Like, he wants to bring the manufacturing sector back.
Okay.
So he wants to. That's what Nkrumah did. Nkrumah built a lot of factories, and it never like really took off. So he wants to bring back the manufacturing. So every district in Ghana is gonna have one factory. It employs people, and I think they opened a sugar factory in the Western region, and there was another one that they just opened recently. So I don't know how many they've done yet, but I'm sure they have statistics on it. But so far, I've been following it, and it seems like he's gonna come through. I don't know if he can actually give every district. You know, that's a politician's promise. I'm not, you know, I'm not holding my breath on that, but he seems to be backing it up. So we'll see.
Okay, so everybody in the chat room, you got to give Nana opportunities. He's only been in office for a year.
So. Right. We got to give him like some space to operate and see what he comes up with, you know. I mean, he's way better than the one we have before. I mean, let's be honest here.
Okay. All right, and somebody in the chat room said, and tell me if this is true or not, many Ghanaian mothers raise their kids with the saying, if you saw a white man today, then you saw God. Is that true?
No, it's actually not the mothers who say it, but it's like a saying. Not like you saw God. It's like if you're going to church and you see a white man, turn back because you've seen God. I've heard that before.
Okay, I mean, what's that mean? Like,
I don't know where. I think maybe it's about the skin tone again. It's what we're saying. I think the person is piggybacking off of what we're talking about, the imagery of like Jesus Christ being whitewashed and stuff. Maybe that's where they're picking that from. But it's not. I don't think it's a Ghanaian mother's proverb. I have heard it several times though. I just don't know where it originates from.
See, we got any more questions in the chat room? Everybody, thank you for joining us this Saturday afternoon. Ben saying he borrowed $300 million from China. Is that true?
He what?
Borrowed $300 million from China.
Not that I've seen, no. Not that I've seen. I could look into it, but not that I've seen.
Hey, Ben, can you provide the facts on that in the chat room? Can you post a link?
Yeah, post it. Let's see, because then that would be my evidence right there.
So what do you think the future of religion is in Ghana? Because like I said, I experienced Kumasi, and I'm just like, why would anybody renounce this? And I know everybody's not Ashanti.
Right.
I know not the phone, but the Fanta, what's the other tribe? Starts with F. Help me out. What's the other tribe?
What other tribe?
In Ghana, the Fante.
Right.
You know, the other tribes, I know they have their own indigenous lifestyle or religion.
Right, sure. Every one of them.
So you think there's going to be a day of time where everyone starts going back to that and adopting that as their main religion?
Do I ever see a time
not to cut you off, since China's coming, do you think everybody's going to turn into a Buddhist?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think now we're living in a time of like information. I feel like people are going to start realizing things and start asking themselves questions, and people are going to choose what they want to do. I mean, there are more like people now that I have seen who believe in African traditional religion than they did when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think there's going to be like a renewal, and people are going to decide what they really believe about it. Do I think it's ever going to become a main religion? I do not know. But in this world that we live, anything can happen. What happened in Ghana, right?
Right.
One thing that happened in Ghana that I did not like was Ghana has a tradition like of honoring all the religions, like Islam, Christianity, and African traditional religion. When it's like a big day and everybody's gonna come out, like Independence Day or something.
Right.
Like Christians are allowed to pray their prayer, Muslims come and pray their prayer, and then like they pour libation and stuff. Now they stopped that libation. Like nobody represents that faction anymore. You know, it's like completely erased, you know. And I was like, I asked question on Facebook, I'm like, what happened? And everybody was like, it just happened. They just stopped doing that. So, I mean, I don't think it's ever going to be a time that people will completely move, but I think there's going to be an increase. That's what I think.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right. Let's see if we got any more questions in the chat room. Peace, Eric. The stream is almost over, but thank you for joining us. Yeah, somebody said in the chat room that there's a movement in Ghana on social media where people are questioning religion, especially the Bible.
Right. Yeah, people, I mean, our generation, because, you know, again, because we understand the origins of certain things, we want to ask questions and we want to confront it. But again, there's a lot of work to be done. I do have hope that people will realize that there is some good in everything and there is some bad in everything. And just pick the one that works for you. You know, pick the good part and just like don't indulge in the bad part.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, we're gonna MB Bonsa 1. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Guys, make sure you get the likes up. Make sure you share the video. Also hit the super chat. If you're not hitting the super chat, at least get the likes up and share the video. Now we're gonna go ahead and close out, so you go ahead.
Sure.
And, final say and give all your contact information.
I mean, again, I will say that for the subject of religion, and be cautious. You know, if you're a Christian, open your ears, open your minds, and actually like know that your spirituality is not to be paid for. You're not to be giving like your money and your time and excessive to like some man of God that you don't even know what its origin is. Like, just like be cautious in everything that you do. And also like just learn a bit, you know, just read things. Take the one that worked for you and then don't take the one that doesn't work for you. You know, at the end, you just want to be a well-rounded, holistic like kind of person. So just be cautious is all I'd have to say.
All right. And then give everybody your contact information.
Okay, so my website is www.nanaashanti.com. My YouTube, Nana Ashanti. Instagram, Nana Ashanti blog. And on Twitter, also Nana Ashanti blog.
All right, cool. And so everybody, thank you for joining us. As far as me, make sure you go to search for Huru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. That's my handle. Make sure you search for Huru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also go to searchforhuru.com, go to amazon.com, search your name, Dinah Samir, buy a book, and then also go to dinahsamir.com as well. Thank you everybody for joining us. Nana, thank you for joining us as well. So next time I'll be back on early tomorrow morning. All right, peace.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.